What's good, everybody? It's when I come back at you on another video. So this video I wanted to talk about the concept of trying and why you need to completely eliminate that from your vocabulary. You need to get rid of that thought process entirely, right? Never try to do anything, right? Never try to do anything. Choose to either do it or not. Now, I say this because when you approach something with the mentality that you're going to try it, then what you're effectively saying is that you are just going to give it an attempt. You are going to essentially like dip your feet in the water to see, to feel out the temperature before actually committing, right? Because if you're going to try something, right, you're going to try to do something, you're not actually committed. And that is detrimental to you because then you're essentially emanating uncertain energy, right? You haven't made up your mind. If you're going to try something, then it's because you're going to like taste something, right? You're going to sample it. You're going to give it an attempt. But when you do that, that means you're not certain, right? I'm not talking about like tasting food and all these, like trying out new foods. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like if there is a goal that you want to go after, something that's worthwhile, right? Something that is truly important to you, that there's meaning behind why you want to accomplish this goal or go after whatever it is that you're trying to pursue. If you're trying it, then you're not certain about it, right? When I say choose to either do it or not, that means you need to make your mind up, right? That means it needs to be as black and white. It needs to be yes or no. Because if the answer is no, then that's okay, right? That may not be the route for you to take or the opportunity for you to pursue, and that's okay. But if the answer is yes, then that is you making your mind up in that moment that you are going to go all in. That means that you are going to exhaust all options, leave no stone unturned. That means you're going to try. Well, sorry, I don't use that word, right? See, I caught myself. That means you are going to make sure you do everything in your power to win. But that also means that you are going to operate with the mindset, with the mentality, with the belief that you will win, that it is already done, that you are going to accomplish that goal. And operating with that belief is powerful. I can't even put into words like how far that can take you, because belief alone can take you however far you want. But I say this because oftentimes people will say, "Oh, I'll give it a try. I'll try this. I'll try that." It's like, make your mind up, right? And I'll give you an example. At least for myself, back then, I attended public school my whole upbringing, right? From elementary school to high school. And then when it came time to apply to colleges, right, I was applying to different schools, right? Both city schools, state schools, private schools. And I remember my college advisor, she was basically telling me, to apply to these Ivy League schools that I had a legitimate chance. And I didn't believe her, but I just took her word for it. And she was an alumni from the Ivy League school that I ended up attending. And so she was the one that basically put in the good word for me and vouched for me and helped me get in there. So I remember being nervous, being afraid, because I had never stepped foot on a legitimate college campus before. I didn't really know what that experience would be like. I was hours away from home, and this was the first time I was pretty much on my own and independent from my parents, my family, everything. And of course, to some degree, there was some imposter syndrome because I didn't believe that I was truly good enough or smart enough to be in a school like this and to excel and succeed. And despite all of that, there was one thing that propelled me, and it was the belief that I was going to walk away with something. That after 4 years, I was not going to leave campus empty-handed, right? I was going to leave with that degree. And that is the mindset, that right there was the moment that like I knew was gonna happen, right? Even though, of course, going through the motions, right? Me being one of the first generation college students and just having to try to figure things out on my own. Of course, there were challenges and obstacles along the way, but I had my mind made up that I'll be damned if I didn't walk out of here after 4 years without my degree. Like, I didn't come this far just to get this far, right? Like, I was going to get a reward, that there was light at the end of the tunnel and I was going to make it there, right? I had that mentality. It wasn't that like I was just going to give it a try and see how it was. And then, because trust me, my first semester I struggled. Like, I was pretty much like a C student because I just wasn't, right. So if someone seen that with the trying mentality, they would have just given up and said it's not for them. But I said no, like, I'm going to make I'm gonna get a reward for this, right? And so then that's when, because I had my mind made up, that's when I was making sure that I was going to finish, right? And that is the approach that you need to have with all things that you're doing, things that mean something to you, goals, dreams, aspirations that you have. There's no more trying. We're going to do it and we're going to get it done, right? See, the way the universe works, it listens to and delivers you the energy that you're vibrating. And so if you're going to try something, then you're essentially vibrating uncertain energy. You're basically vibrating that you're unsure, right? But if you choose to do something, if you make up your mind in that moment, then you're going to be exuding supreme confidence. You are going to only be thinking about and fixated on winning, on getting a reward, on getting it done. And that is what's going to propel you forward. That is what's going to allow the universe to move all of the variables in place to make sure you do end up winning, right? And it may not happen this moment, it may not happen tomorrow or next week, right? But the variables are aligning itself behind the scenes for you to win. If you believe that you were going to win, right? If you have your mind made up that you're going to get it done and you believe that you're going to win, you're basically operating knowing that you're going to win, right? Like that you're not going to lose, that there's no other route but to get this done. And when you operate from that energy, when you operate from that perspective, there's nothing that's going to stop you, right? The universe is going to conspire with you to help you where it is that you're going, because you're putting out that same energy, because you're putting out that you have your mind made up. This is why you might hear the saying that success is only a decision away. And that is when you make up your mind, when you make the decision that you are going to get something done, that you're going to accomplish something, that you are going to win. How different do you think your life would be if those moments that you can look back on where you were like going to try something, or you were like unsure about whether or not you should approach it, how different you think the outcome would have been if you had made up your mind that you were going to go after it full force, right? There would be most likely a completely different outcome or completely different trajectory, right? And oftentimes people fail in whatever endeavor because they're half-assing it, that they're not committed to it, right? One of my favorite shows is Kitchen Nightmares, with the world-renowned chef Gordon Ramsay, right? The show's on Hulu, and a lot of restaurants on Kitchen Nightmares appear on Kitchen Nightmares and are failing because a lot of times the owners are just trying, right? They're just trying. They're not completely committed. They have one foot in and one foot out, right? Because they're so angry, they're so frustrated with how everything's going on. They're pretty much dejected. They're removed mentally from the business. But then once Gordon Ramsay steps in and begins making changes as far as like renovations for the inside of the restaurant and changes to the menu, and he gives the staff members trainings, and he help give the owner direction on how to run a business, that's when you begin to see the light in their eyes begin to light up again, right? That you begin to see it. You begin to see that now they're energized, now they're motivated, now they're committed, because then in that moment they chose to be restaurant owners, right? They chose to be invested in the business, right? These are people who oftentimes probably had very little information, even though they would show up at their restaurant, at their business all the time. A lot of these owners didn't know what was going on in the business, or didn't know what events were actually bad, right? A lot of these owners didn't even know how food should be properly storaged, or they didn't know about all these customer complaints, or they didn't know about this or that about the business. But then once Gordon explained that to them and showed them how a successful business should be functioning, that is when they got excited, because now they choke. Like, that's them making the decision that I'm going to succeed in this business now, that I'm given another chance. And you can see that they're reinvested in the business. And this is what I mean. If something is important to you, you should show up like invested in that. You should show up with energy. You should show up with excitement. It shouldn't be anything forced. If you're just trying it, then chances are you're not going to last, right? If we, use a marathon as an example, if you're just trying, you're not going to make it to the end of the 26 miles of the marathon. You're just not, right? Because if I signed up for the marathon, I'm making it to the end, right? I'm going all 26 miles because that's what I committed to. And so I'm not going to stop until I get there. And that is the big difference between me and so many other people, right? So many other people will just give it an attempt to see how far they go. If I'm signing up, I'm making it to the end. There is no doubt in my mind. Somehow, some way, I'm going to get there and cross that finish line. It is inevitable to happen. That's the difference. Same here in this YouTube space. I will win. I will eventually grow this channel. I will get a reward for it. I will win. It is already done. It is set in stone. It will happen, right? As for you, the question is, will that also happen for you? If you're a small content creator, will that also happen for you? If you're a business owner, will that also happen for you? If you have your own fitness goals, right? Say, for example, you have fitness goals, say you're out of shape and you want to get into better shape, say you want to slim down, whatever it is, right? Some of you will try to go to the gym, right? Just to give it a little sample, give it a little taste to see how it goes. I'm in that position and the goal for me is to slim down. I'm going to slim down. I will get there. I will get to the point where I want to be, where I'm happy with my fitness goals. But for me, fitness is lifestyle. So it's not that I'm going just to hit certain goals or certain milestones. I'm going because it is going to be part of my life. I'm not trying it, right? I'm committing to it. It will be part of my life. So it's either I'm doing it or I'm not. There's no, it's a yes or no. It's black and white. There's no gray area, right? That is how you need to approach the things that are important to you in your life, because you need to be operating with the right mentality and be putting out the appropriate energy, right? Because if you are putting out uncertain energy because you're just trying, then you know what the universe is going to dish out to you? Uncertain results. You want to try, you'll get try results. If you want to win, if you want to commit yourself and be the best at something, you will also get results that reflect that as well. So I do this video so that you can reflect on your own life and what is that's important to you, so that if there's anything that is important to you that you're not fully committed, all in, invested in, then you should just choose not to do it. Even for the time being, just let it go, and that's okay. But for the things that you have invested right now, commit yourself to that and strive to be the best at it. Become obsessed, because you need to understand in this lifetime, it's only, we as a society, we glorify the superstars. We want the people who are at the best at what they do. We are not looking for average. We are not looking for mediocre, because it's too easy to find average. It's too easy to find mediocre, right? That's why you can go to your supermarket or wherever, it's like a magazine stand, and you'll see photos of abs. Why? Because very few people on this planet actually have abs, right? The majority of people are not in shape. So they post ads on like abs on the magazine, because that is, that is not the norm. That is, you don't come across that often. And that's just an example, right? We as a society, we want the superstars. We want the people who are committed, who are obsessed, who want to be the best. So you need to begin with that same desire, with that same obsession for anything that's important to you. Just strive to be the best, and the rest of the details and the pieces will fall into place. So never try to do anything. Choose to either do it or let it go. So that wraps up the video. Enjoy the video. Do leave a like and subscribe, as we are on the road to 100 subscribers, guys. I'm telling you, we're gonna crush that milestone. So I would want you here on that journey with me till we hit it. So once again, guys, this is Joel, and I'm out. I'll see you guys for the next video.